isn't toxic. Cancel me. The toxic trait about lesbians is the L in the identity. The L stands for loser.
And like when I say that in like a queer space, they're like, oh my God, how could you do that? And I'm like, first of all, that's my business.
I don't know, I think it's more of a juicy thing that you could just gossip about and be like, oh my God, did you know that she used to be this?
It's almost like people want to glorify that gay men can't keep a relationship.
Text people back. Text back 911. Don't do that. That's what? Stop talking.
Toxicity can infiltrate your life in any way, shape, or form. And you have to see it, acknowledge it, learn from it, and realize that it shouldn't be for you, and you shouldn't dwell on it either.
There's this tendency is that people are trying to find themselves in others. And I think there's this tendency to like expect someone else's experience to be reflective of theirs. So like, for example, I'm still a practicing Catholic. And like when I say that in like a queer space, they're like, oh my God, how could you do that? And I'm like, first of all, that's my business. There's other representations of a life. And just because it's not 100% reflective of your experience doesn't make it invalid, or doesn't not make it valid for somebody else. It's kind of turned into like LGBTQIA, check your box and stay in it. Like, oh, you're gay, so that means you do this and you go to these types of events and you're not religious and you don't talk to your parents and you're so happy to be away from home. But that hasn't been my experience.
Gay men, they just, for some reason, they're not highlighted, who've been in relationships for 20, 30 years. It's almost like people want to glorify that gay men can't keep a relationship. And it's like, why is that being glorified? Clearly they can.
There was a few instances of people outing me in front of other people without my permission, and I think that's something that some people in our community feel entitled to do so, because either they know what to look for or they just happen to know that you're trans and they think it's their right to let other people know. And I think that in itself, it's a little toxic because that can bring about issues, safety, and it can just be uncomfortable for every party involved. I think especially in our culture, we live for a juicy moment, like a juicy gossip moment. That's why celebrities are who they are, because we love knowing about their lives and about who they're dating and what they're doing and are they gay or not, are they this or not.
Well, I do think that the most toxic thing about the queers is that we just cannot pick a lane. We pick a letter, we can't pick a lane. And I think that's the hardest thing for us.
Whatever you are internally is projected outwardly. So if I'm self-defeating, I'm projecting self-defeating energy out. And to me, that's harmful to a person and to our wonderful, diverse community, and how it can limit how I'm gonna express myself and thrive in this world. I think that's a tough thing that I've always had to navigate, is that toxic narrative that I have to go no, that's not me. And how do I really disconnect from that so I can really find out who I am?
I came from a place where everything about the queer community was toxic. The very existence of it was toxic. It wasn't this place where all they do is drag you down, and they'd always say, look how unhappy queer people are. They are so spiteful and hateful and mad at the world and hypersexualized and only care about, all they have is think about is sex. There's been so much suppressed that when it finally comes out, it explodes. And sometimes it's you just don't hold back. So it's it goes crazy. And I feel that has become a norm of queer culture. It's it is a bit hypersexualized because it's well, I want to unleash all of it because I've been holding it in for until my adulthood.
We're exposed all day long to negativity, right? And especially in my line of work, we hear really bad stories of our community themselves. And that, to me, that wounds me personally too.
Me and my faith, and trying to make it a safer space for those people who also have faith. From a queer community perspective, it's just if you're not super anti-religion, it's just oh, well, you're not gay enough anymore. It's just well, that's your business.
I really just call myself a janitor a lot because I love to just sort of be sturdy. My gender expression. I mean, I think I was saying this to someone before, I do identify as Channing Tatum in Step Up, but it's in my brain, nobody else thinks I look like this. Yeah, I mean, I just think I'm like a soft boy, probably, soft boy. I think probably what's happening with the gays is we live in a high school mentality because we never got to date. Like everything was a secret. So you never actually communicated with anyone. So our foundation is ghosting. We don't text because we were a secret. We were behind a closet. We were behind a door. Text people back. Text back 911. Don't do that. That's what? Stop talking.